project, I decided to do springboard diving or high diving. I was first inspired to do diving when I was about 4 years old, and I was watching the Olympics for the first time with my dad on TV, and I thought it was amazing how the divers were able to do all their flips and twists into the water and land so synchronized together in the pool. When I was about in 7th grade, I started taking swimming lessons, and I saw a diving class going on. And I thought it was really cool that people who were not in the Olympics could also take diving. So I asked my mom if I could take some classes. And she said sure. So I started taking classes that next semester. So the Olympics began in 1896, but diving was not included as a sport until 1904. And at this time, it was an all-male sport, and women were not included until 1912 at the Stockholm Games. But diving did not initially become a sport until the late 19th century, when German and Swedish gymnasts decided to practice their tumbling routines into the water. And they later took this to Great Britain, and it became very popular there. And it then became a sport. So I started diving when I was in 7th grade, but then I stopped for about a year, and I started again in 11th grade, and I was thinking about what to do for my senior project. So the progression of learning how to dive is you first start out with jumps. So I learned straight jump, and then I added a tuck and a pike. And then after learning those, I learned to do those with a hurdle. And a hurdle is when you do a skip at the end of the board. So you go step, just like that, into the pool. And then after that, I learned how to do a fall and dive. And a fall and dive is just like your normal dive that you do when you just like dive into a pool hands first or head first. And then I added a jump to that. And the first time I was learning how to do the jump dive, I didn't really understand how it was possible to jump into the air and then land with your hands in the water. But my mentor Jenny reassured me that it was possible, and the board will just tell me what to do. And it's true, I tried it, and if you jump straight into the air, you will land with your hands in the water, somehow. After that jump, I learned the back dive and back jump, which is facing the board instead of the pool and jumping off backwards off the diving board into the water. And then I learned flips. Flips are fun. So I first learned to flip in a class where one of my other classmates, she decided that it would be fun to have a mini competition, and as our last jump, flip, dive thing, we would do a fun dive. So she went off the 3-meter board, and she tied her little chamois around her bathing suit and jumped off like Superman. And I decided I should try to flip. So I went off my board, and I didn't rotate hard, like I didn't throw my arms hard enough. So I just kind of landed on my butt, and that really hurt. But Jenny said, she encouraged me, she said, that was really good. You just have to use your arms more and just throw harder. So I tried it, I kept doing it, and I was finally able to do a flip after many, many attempts. Currently, and all the dives I described I did on the 1-meter board, which is about 3 feet, so that's from the stage to the floor. That's about how high it is. And currently I'm learning how to do a back twist on the board, which is really fun, but it ended up with me landing on my face lots of times. It's really hard to just like turn and flip. And I also did the 3-meter board, and that's about 10 feet. So that's from the floor to the bottom of the balcony there. So the first time I went on that was very nerve-wracking because you're 10 feet in the air, and it seems so much higher than it is. And the first time I went on it, I stood there for about 5 minutes and just stared at the water. And finally, Jenny, she said, okay, you have to jump when I get to 3. And she counted down. When she got to 3, I closed my eyes, and I squeezed everything very tight, and I just fell off the board, basically. I like, stepped off. and it landed in the water. I felt like I was flying and just falling at the same time. It was an amazing feeling. And after I landed, I got back up and I did it again. And then I learned the fall and dive off the high board. And again, I was nervous because I was going headfirst into the water from 10 feet in the air. But I did it, and it was very fun. And then I did another dive. I'm currently learning another one called the line-up, which is like the fall and dive, but instead of grabbing your hands, you start out on your toes at the end of the board like a cross, and you start falling, and before you hit the water, you have to grab your hands to protect your head. Throughout this process, I learned many things about myself. One is definitely I became more patient. If I did a dive and I got frustrated that I didn't do it correctly, I just told myself that I would get better next time and that I would just keep going and it would be okay. Another thing I learned was to conquer my fears of heights and just falling into the water over and over again. And lastly, I learned that just to trust my body and just kind of stop thinking for at least like 10 minutes while I'm on the board and just kind of listen to what I'm doing internally. Now I have some videos to show of my diving, so enjoy.
When we're together, there's no mountain we can't climb. We always seem to rise to such amazing heights. On top of the world, we sit together, you and I. The outside and we won't look down. We'll spread our wings as we left the ground. Like planes up above the clouds. Don't look down, baby, don't look down. Look at all of the edge of space. In the sky we can spend our days. You know never mess around. Don't look down, baby, don't look down. Take my hand as we shoot for the falls. I'll be walking as we roll, 'cause you know which way you go. Take my hand, there's nowhere we won't go. I'll feel the view so clear and so much down below. Oh, 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 oh. We'll watch the sun go down as day gives birth to night. Look at our city shining out with so much light. Don't think I've seen such an extraordinary.
If everybody had a nose across the USA, then everybody'd be served like California. You'd see them wearing their baggies, Roger Sandals too. But bushy on here, serving USA.
I'd like to thank my parents for driving me to the pool on the weekends. And of course, I'd like to thank my mentor, Jenny, for being an amazing person and an inspiration to me and everyone else in the class for just being an amazing person. Thank you. I think right now for me, either a flip or a back twist is hard.
Did you ever jump off the board and hit the board instead of the water?
No. I hit the water really hard though, and it hurt a lot.
Have you done a flip off the high board?
No, I haven't. I'm not a lesson.
Are you going to keep practicing and keep diving?
I want to. Yeah. I want to like join a club or something.
Did you ever do a flop?
No, but I've done a back flop. Which also
doing that, what you described about jumping up and pumping your hands with the water first?
Yeah, so you start out with the fall and dive backwards. So it's basically a back bend off the board, and then you jump and dive backwards. Yeah, you go up.
And then you add a twist.
Yeah.